Good morning. It's a blessed morning, and it's a blessed morning not because I have a pine tree and the clouds and the beauty, the splendor of another day. It's a blessed morning because God has been speaking to my heart as I study not only His Word, but other words written by prominent authors and writers. And the connections that are the the similarities that are being shown to me is mind-blowing. Just it's uncanny how closely related worldly literature and the Bible connect, how closely related they are. And why do I say that? I say that because the book that I was just reading, that I just concluded, there was a theme throughout that book, was scarcity. Scarcity of food. Scarcity of food was a theme throughout the book. The family, they relied on scraps and morsels from trash cans, from other people's trash, and grasshoppers and insects for food. That was a primary food source for them, was fried grasshoppers. Can you imagine growing up on fried grasshoppers? Or imagine growing up on someone else's trash? Day after day, you searching through other people's trash for food. Can you imagine that? Food being that scarce in your household? Now, why is that important? Because from the beginning of time, food has been used as a lure. And what do you mean by that, Joe? In order to hunt anything, you use something that they like, something that they can consume. Food that they naturally eat. That's what you hunt with. Now, in the book, there was a scene where the young boy, and I'm really the reason, and I'm debating whether or not to talk about it now, because it's so impactful, and it's so profound that I want to say it in a group, or in a conference or auditorium setting, because that's how profound it is. But anyway, the young man was lured into a situation by food. Him and other young men with him. Often we see people pacified or groomed with food offerings before or after being violated. Let me say that again. Oftentimes we see people pacified or groomed or appeased with food offerings before or after being violated. I'm going to say it one more time. Many times we see people pacified, groomed, or appeased, or lured with food offerings before or after being violated. So the question was, what is one primary way people pacify others? With food. What is one primary way people appease others? With food. What is one primary way people lure others? With food. And why am I talking about this? Because I've been fasting. If you've watched my last videos, I recently came through an extensive fast, one of the longest fasts that I've ever been under. And before that, I've been fasting for the last 2 years or 3 years, however long it's been. I've been fasting for that long. And this is what God just showed me. Like, I'm still in 1 Samuel. I'm still in 1 Samuel. And it's so ironic that he showed me this about food, not only in the Bible, but in the book that I was reading while I'm fasting, and I'm in 1 Samuel. Food is a lure of the enemy. So in the book, the young man and some other boys were lured to a place, a compound. They were lured to a compound by grown men. And to get the boys to relax, they gave them food. They gave them food to get them to relax before they violated them. They gave them food to relax them before they violated them. In the Bible, when the people went up to Shiloh as their customs suggested or demanded, and they went up to offer food to the priests, they had a party. It was basically a party. That's basically what going up to Shiloh, or not just Shiloh, but this Shiloh specifically right now in 1 Samuel, going up to Shiloh was basically a party for the people of Israel. They went up to offer sacrifices, but what was happening was they were perverting the offering, and they were partying and getting drunk. So they were supposed to be praising and honoring and worshiping the Lord, but they perverted they perverted the tabernacle. They perverted the tabernacle with food offerings. And the priests were the people that were leading the party. So the people were bringing their first fruits of everything, and the priests were perverting the entire worship service with the food. You see how you look at that correlation? Like that's it blew my mind. It blew my mind, y'all. Like, it blew my mind. It blew me. It blew my mind. It blew my mind that God showed me that. At the time now when I'm trying to fast more. I'm trying to change my eating habits, my diet, which a lot of people are, but it is so mind-blowing to me, because food culturally in our history has been used, and I'm just speaking candidly because it's the truth, and you know, at this point, I don't care who hears me. Food has been used to annihilate people, kill people. Like, we are using food as a means of genocide right now. We are using food as a means of genocide right now. Food is used as a means of genocide right now in 2024. Right now. What's even more eye-opening is the fact that in 1 Samuel, when the priests were perverting the customs, when the priests were perverting the tabernacle, not only were they perverting the tabernacle with food and drink, but it doesn't explicitly say, well, actually it does, but they were violating the women and the men. They were partying and they were violating the people of Israel. The priests were doing this. The priests were doing this. So they were welcoming, and they were calling everybody to Shiloh, to the tabernacle of the Lord. They were calling everybody to the tabernacle. They were taking their food, and then they were taking the food from the people, cooking it, and then offering it to them as a pacifier before they violated them. What? What? Huh? So be aware of what you're putting in your body. Be aware of the things of what you are consuming. At this point in 2024, everybody should have a nutritionist. And if you can't afford a nutritionist, there's more than enough information online, on TV, in books, where everybody should be aware of what their body, of what nutrients are essential and helpful for the body. If you aren't doing that, I strongly encourage you to start now. To start now. Because food is being used as a means of genocide. Man. And when God showed me that yesterday or the day before, whenever God showed me that, it really, I had to take a step back. Because I'm going to just leave it right there. I'm going to be done and I'll come back because I'm already 12 minutes in, but it's more to this. Y'all trust the Lord. You know what to do.